Good morning, everybody. I was having my morning coffee this morning and decided I'd just try to put a quick video together to explain how the program kind of is structured today. I'm doing this, here's the key. I'm doing this in one take, so you're going to live with whatever comes out of this thing. So I think the first thing to keep in mind when we were looking at this and where TCR, let me move my picture down a little bit. Sorry about that. Um, while we were looking at what Twin Cities Rise hopes to do in this new program model, we wanted to make sure that we always kept in mind the participant experience and really preparing them for this whole new world that they're going to be entering, this whole new workplace world on all sides. And then also we needed to make sure that the relationships, the trust, the support that is really the key to Twin Cities Rise is maintained, whether we're doing this virtually or in the classroom. And quite honestly, my perspective, it's probably going to be a while before we do the classroom again. That's just a personal view right now. So how do we move everything to this new world, this new environment, and still maintain that connection and that relationship, that trust, and that support that is so important? And I believe it can be done. I believe it can be done. It's just going to take some execution and some practice to be able to do that. The other thing, this is the material that I sent out to you earlier, that we needed to keep in mind. We can't just throw classes out there. We've got to continue to focus on the primary goals of where Twin Cities Rise is going, on these 21st century skills. And we've really narrowed it down to 7 basic skills that we're really focusing on in this whole program structure that we're looking at: the whole emotional intelligence, the teamwork, critical thinking, problem solving, etc. Interesting thing, yesterday on our participant call, I was really excited. We used the polling functionality in Zoom, and we went through all of these, and we asked the participants, how important do you think they are today and in the world you're going to be going into compared to before all this stuff started? And it was virtually right across the board. All of them thought all of these were extremely important for them to have their success. Sorry about that. I keep getting something jumping in there. But all of them virtually, when we were doing the polling, we went through each one. How important? Extremely, just important, not that big of a change or not important at all. But it was really encouraging to hear the participants talk about new economy, 21st century skills, emotional intelligence, all as part of their vocabulary. So that was a lot of fun. So as we're going through this, we wanted to make sure that these stayed in at the forefront as well. So here is the program as Twin Cities Rise has it designed today. And I'm going to get rid of myself so that you can just focus on the slide. So again, the first thing, you've heard this for the last 3 to 4 weeks of where the project is. The first 3 weeks are the readiness phase. They will be in the learning program, but essentially what this is, again, is really the trying to get the individuals prepared, focused on moving forward in their education. And we know from a participant standpoint, there are some that are ready, there are some that are not. We used to call that basic services. And I know that Jacqueline has talked a lot about the fact that even if they're just in basic services, and I don't even want to use the word just in, when they are in basic services, they may have other issues they need to deal with. foundational, that really prevent them from moving on to full-time employment. Because remember, at Twin Cities Rise, thing I've been keeping in mind as we've been talking about all of this, employment, job placement is one thing, but remember when Steve Rothschild set up the organization, placement is one thing, retention is another. So all of this, I believe, is designed to move us forward, or move TCR forward, move the participant forward to not only getting the job, but keeping the job. So they will have in their first 3 weeks learning lessons. They're going to make connections with their service support teams. They're going to be getting resource support and coaching, and I'll show you all of this as we go through it. And they will have virtual classrooms to attend. That's that cohort that is so important, and those connections with their cohort and with their team members that is so important. Weeks 4 through 8 is the education phase, where they move into My Road to Success or one of the career pathways. The first session is going to be moving directly into call center, customer service, career pathways. They will, and I'll show you this, what their learning experience will be like. And they will also have virtual classes, emotional intelligence, 21st century skills, etc. And then the weeks 8 plus, after they're done with that education, they move into the career or employment ready search strategy. And that's where they will be connecting with employment services or career services at that point. In the past, we have had, and we did that intentionally because a lot of people were moving through a program and not having resumes and when they were done. And so we moved intentionally that career services up towards the front. We're moving it back again towards the end. So the people, the individuals, this is a challenge for us. The individuals need to be creating their resumes on their own as they're going through the program, and those are some of the learning objects that they will go through. We absolutely know that is going to be a challenge, and it's going to take some support, coaching support, and education support, but that's the model that is set up today. So I know there's a lot of questions, but I wanted to pull up now a mapping of how the learning sequence will work, pulling all of this forward. So in weeks 1 through 3, they have, and we've called this readiness. This is our first one, fiscal year 20, readiness, weeks 1 through 3. Going for the first week, they will have, and we're still working through this schedule, that basically right now on Mondays and Fridays, they will have group coaching or resource team support. VITLT is an acronym that we need to use for the LearnTrack model, the LearnTrack system, but that's just virtual instructor-led training. Similar to what, Deb, you were doing with facilities, and Jason with the facilities folks. But these will all be scheduled as activities that they need to complete in the system once they log on and get acclimated. We're looking right now at, so the current tentative start date, May 18th. On May 19th, we were looking at having a virtual Zoom interaction, kind of a virtual orientation with everybody, so that everybody at Twin Cities Rise can introduce themselves. We can get to know who is in the cohort and just get that feeling of team camaraderie. On May 20th, they will have Tanika doing the resource introduction that she has done week 1 of every cohort. On May 21st, and I've got a schedule for all this stuff, so you'll see it here in a minute. We will have really our first emotional intelligence virtual and instructor-led training. And then on Friday, they will have a group coaching resource virtual. So they're going to be Zooming 5 days a week once they get into the program. And we think that that is important to make sure that that cohort is there, that they're feeling interactive with it. We're going to be running these we're going to be scheduling them from, and we're still working on the time, but this is just tentative. I know there's questions with it, but like from 10 to 11:30 will be the virtual, what we will put into the system. But if you only need for group coaching 30 minutes, that's fine. And this is where we're going to need some help as well on what does that look like. You're going to have Tanika, you're going to have the coach, you're going to have, you may want to say, Mr. Z or Suzanne, we want to have a little bit more emotional or elevator story help on May 22nd. Absolutely, that's what the team is all about. Okay, so they will have virtual classes every day. Then they're going to have, when they go into the system, they're going to have learning, these LO stands for learning objects. So they're going to use, we're hoping to create videos like this or others using the LMS to schedule how to use it, kind of to navigate through. They can watch a video, get an idea of it. We've got a introduction to TCR, actually using the old slides that the coaches used for orientation. We just put it to a video. We've got Tom's video out there. And then we're going to be asking them, we're creating little quizzes afterwards just to validate. They aren't hard. You can do it on your phone to just validate that they did that. We've got policies. We've got a program review, and all these will be little short videos that they do and just a quiz or an activity. We have a coaching worksheet, which we need help on what do the coaches want, or how, as part of this team environment, how working with the resource team and the coaching do you want it to work together? We've got a little, as opposed to strength finders, we've got another assessment. We've got ONET built in here as well. So again, if we need these, and that's one of the things we're really taking a look at all that we have done in the past, do we need these? So for instance, with theta metrics, do we need these other types of assessments? We'll take a look at that. And then every week, they will have an activity that they have to meet with their resource support team, which is your coach and or Tanika from a resource standpoint. And we really need, I believe, we really need the coaching side to say, how do we want this to work in a team environment as opposed to the way we've done it in the past? Then we move into learning plan 2. So they'll move on from 1, they move into 2. You've got, here's the schedule for the virtual classes. All of those will be listed for them. And there will be automatic links that they just go into their learning and click on the class, and it'll take them to the Zoom class. We need to set up all the Zoom accounts and all that stuff. That's why scheduling and assignment really important. We need some help here with some learning objects, creating little videos like this on life trajectory. We teach that in My Road to Success, on the trajectory of your life, how you can change it. We've got, and we do need help here on the 6 seconds assessment. This is from the EI folks, on how do you want that done? Do you want it done up in one of your classes, linking to it? How do you want to review it? So we need some help there. Time management and goal setting, we've already got a video set with a little quiz and an activity. We want them to respond to the quiz. We also want them to, and we do this in class, what are 3 goals you intend to achieve in the next 90 days, and what are the steps you need to take to achieve those? We do need help on the individual development plan as well, creating videos, creating activities on what that is and how it works. I need a lot of help on that, and I think Suzanne and I both need a lot of help on that. Suzanne is working on telling your own elevator story to others. We need to do the technology assessment. We're working on that. Also, she's working on the STAR stories. And then again, here's the thing, you need to meet with your resource support team. Week 3, same type of schedule. And actually, these are the virtual classes Jason, you have already done a lot of these, so we just need to build these into the schedule. Flying your elevator and star stories in an interview. 60-minute class, probably at the most for this. I know EI wanted 90 minutes, but again, whatever you need, we'll have 90 scheduled, whatever you need for it. So again, these are the classes, the 21st century classes that we want. And then we do need who is going to be doing the EI facilitation Tuesday and Thursday, etc. Now, the other coaching team will be handling weeks 1 through 3. And then again, I'm sorry, here's the learning objects of 21st century skills. We want just a quiz and an activity, building your resume, doing a project. I believe Suzanne is working on that one as well. Interview prep she's working on. So again, all of these are built into the learning, and some people may move on. We don't know how many. We are hoping 90, 95%, because remember, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my system. That thing keeps jumping in. So again, these are the class 21st century, introducing 21st century skills for employers, what to expect, etc. And then they're going to be moving into the call center pathway. Week 4 is when, and again, we need to work on transition. How do people move from one to the other? Remember, we found about 75% of the people, once they started week 3, they finished. We're hoping for the same, but we don't know in a digital world what is going to be happening. So we're going to need to be tracking this through. Hopefully, everybody is going to be moving on to call center. These are all the modules that we had in call center, just moved to a digital environment. Call center, we do need, again, on Wednesdays, here's call center environment opportunities, building the resume for the opportunities of virtual class that they will take. Here are all the learning objects. Now, we do have an outside consultant who took all of our curriculum and is putting it into really cool interactive lessons. So they're doing call centers in the new economy, what it is like, call center skills and expectations. We do want to do our first person simulation, workplace leadership they're taking. We do need to work on keyboarding technology, which is so important in call centers as well. Now, I'm not going to go through all 7 weeks. Well, yes, I am. I'm going to flip through here. So these are all in the Teams file of in Teams under Education Services program structure, and I'll show you that here at the end. The other thing I did want to show you is we also have Career Club that is going to be starting. So we do need empowerment maintenance. We're going to be doing career launch. This is going to be the career services people on Tuesdays, either virtual classes, and then they're going to be interacting on Wednesdays as well. So scheduling is going to be really key and really important so that we aren't stepping over each other or cutting people off of Zoom calls, making sure the right Zoom calls are associated with the classes, etc. So that is kind of how the program structure works. The last thing I wanted to show you, and this is in the files as well, I will show you where those are, but this is the schedule that we have set for this first cohort. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things, but all of it is related to what I just went over. On Mondays and Fridays, you have group coaching and resources. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have emotional intelligence. And then on Wednesdays, you will have 21st century skills training, either general or call center specific. This is, again, is also in the file. And finally, here is in Teams. I want you to go to the Education Services. There's also an Ed space. Don't worry about that. Education Services. You can look at the files. And then you can, hold on there, we can go to the files. And there you can see, I've got a little screencast video tutorial that I created because I thought a lot of different departments would want to create introductory videos, but this will just show you how it works. It's pretty cool, pretty easy. This is the program details and schedules. All those things I just went over with you are there. And then also for program content and curriculum, as you're developing things, I've got here the, if you ever want to see, here's kind of a rough draft of the virtual orientation. Here is setting goals and times. I created a video. I've got a worksheet that they're going to be doing, and then they have an exercise to do as well. So that gives you a pretty detailed overview of how this is all going to work. And I came back again. So what this is going to take, it's going to take a lot of teamwork. It's going to take a ton of teamwork to pull all of this together, work through all the details that, moving from the way we did it to the way that it's going to be done with the way Twin Cities Rise wants to move the program forward. It's going to take a lot of flexibility. We don't know a lot of things. We're going to be changing. It's going to take persistence, awareness to make sure we're staying connected to those participants, and then moving forward with a common purpose. So that's it. Took me about 20 minutes. That's a lot longer than you would normally do on these, but I wanted to cover all of the details associated with it. We'll open it up to questions. I'm going to get back to my coffee. You guys have a good one. Talk to you soon.